So, good morning, everybody. My thought for you today is be a little bit less heavy than it was yesterday. So, if you were in class yesterday, my Dharma was very much on sort of the state of the world, and I got a little weepy-eyed during it. So, I didn't feel like crying this morning. So, changing the way I'm talking about it. It's the same Dharma, but I'm giving it to you in a different way. So, we're starting with monkeys, right? Because obviously that's the solution. It's monkeys. And what I want to be reminded of is that there was this study that was done. I don't even know how many years ago, and it's the reference that we usually use is the hundredth monkey, the 100th monkey. And in this study, what they basically noticed is they were studying this particular group of monkeys that were on an island, and they were looking at the way that they were using certain things as tools. And again, I'm paraphrasing, so if you go look this up, you might find that it's vaguely different, but the point is the same. So they were studying this group of monkeys using this particular kind of item as a tool or this certain behavior. And they noticed that when a certain number of the group of monkeys on this island, the 100th monkey, when the 100th monkey seemed to have mastered this technique or this behavior, is that they started to see it spontaneously pop up in other disconnected populations of the same monkey. So they would see it on the mainland where there was no interconnection, there was no communication, there was no obvious transmission of teaching a skill from one group to another, but they saw it spontaneously pop up, right? And so we have this sort of phenomenon that's come from that of the 100th monkey, that when we get to a certain kind of group consciousness, or there's enough of a group understanding, is that it starts to create a spontaneous response in the larger population, right? It starts to spread into that consciousness. And there's no clear explanation for why that happens, but it's been noticed, right? It's a recognized thing. And so my thought for you is that if your way of being in yourself, the way that you live inside of you, if you knew that you were the 100th monkey, and that if the way that you lived inside of you was going to make an incredible impact on the rest of humanity, just automatically, you knew it was going to happen. You're the 100th monkey, and the way that you act, the way that you live inside of you is going to make an impact on all of humanity. What would you do? How would you change? Because this is the world we live in, right? We live in a world where it's very easy to think that what's happening to somebody else isn't happening to you, or that you're not a part of it. And so my Dharma yesterday was on very much the interconnectedness of how suffering is universal, and how every one of us are in that same suffering, even if what we're seeing in our life in terms of events or immediate actions or reactions doesn't look like what's going on in somebody else's immediate world, is that we're all part of it and we're all participating. And that idea of uprooting suffering is something that doesn't happen from trying to fix what's going on the outside. The reaction that we have, or that outside image, that's the end result of what's going on inside. That's the end result of the roots that are in you, that is your own suffering, that's manifesting in the world. And it manifests in this big group way. And then we think that it has nothing to do with us because it might not be immediately in your face at you, but you're part of it. So if you knew that you were the 100th monkey, and that the way that you are inside of yourself was going to change the rest of humanity, what would you do? What would you give to that experience if you knew that you were the 100th monkey? Because the truth is we don't know which one of us, how many of us are the 100th monkey. We don't know. But at some point, this is what yoga says, is that at some point, if all of us are doing the work inside of us to create, and this is what I was saying yesterday, to live in a way where there are no enemies. Doesn't mean that you don't have emotions. It doesn't mean you don't get angry. It doesn't mean you don't take action for what's right and what's needed and necessary. But can you live in a way where inside of you there is no enemy? We are not looking outside or inside with judgment. And if enough of us were doing that consistently, 100 monkeys, we might see that there's a drastic change in humanity, and no one will be able to explain why. No one will be able to say why one day we woke up and we just started treating each other better. But it doesn't start with out here. Can I judge what's going on outside of me? And if I'm saying the right thing, or you're saying the right thing, or doing the right thing or the wrong thing, are you reacting to your emotions the way that I think is appropriate? If we can get rid of that in ourselves, or we can reinterpret what that is in ourselves, then we have the ability to meet the rest of the world in a more peaceful way, where there's no enemies. So instead of that kind of really heavy feeling of how do I fix this, can you just imagine yourself as the 100th monkey? Is that you don't have to fix it out there. It's too big to fix it out there. You can't change anybody else anyway. But what you can do is you can walk out into the world with that feeling, deeply internal feeling, that there are no enemies, none. And every time your mind tries to tell you that there is, that there's a reason to hate that person or to dislike or to push away, that you can come back to that. If I'm the 100th monkey, how do I want to respond to this? What do I want for humanity? Not just for me, but for everyone. And that includes myself. So can we practice that? Can you practice being the 100th monkey? So that what you are experiencing as your reality in the world is that there are no enemies. Comfortable seat. Let the eyes close. And can you bring yourself inward? Started out this week talking a lot about emotions and making friends with them and realizing that the ones that you think are your biggest challenge that pop up at the worst times that you wish you could get rid of. That instead of working with them at the reaction level of when they're bothering you, can you let them follow you throughout your entire day because they're there all the time. They're woven into your thoughts. Even the thoughts that seem like they're meaningless, they're woven in. So can you go inside yourself, deep down to the roots of where all of the thinking comes from, where all of the feeling comes from? And ignore the desire to judge that this emotion is one that I like, this is one that I don't like. And can you weave together all of your sadness, your anger, your fear, your grief with all of your joy and your love and your hope and your dreams? Everything that you like and that you dislike, can you braid them together? Because the roots are the same. Joy and sorrow are from the same place. So I want you to look for that. Where's the place where they begin in you? If you know where they begin, then you have the ability to direct or understand where it is that they are ending. And those are your actions, your thoughts, your words, your reactions. You have to go to where they start. And that's a place where there is no difference. Joy and sorrow are the same. And if none of that makes sense, just let your breath get deeper and everything else will come into that space. One more breath. You are the 100th monkey. So what you put into your practice will be felt by every member of the shared consciousness. And then bringing hands together in front of the heart center, rub the hands together, please. Yeah, build heat. Faster, Jen, faster. Good, faster, faster, faster. If your hands haven't caught fire yet, you're not going fast enough. Good, and then steady the palms at your heart. Feel that heat radiate from the hands through the arms, all the way through the center of the chest, all the way through the entirety of your self, not just your body. And we'll open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. You can release the hands from in front of your heart, please. And then just take your hands to your knees or your thighs and start to circle your torso. Make nice big spirals. Good. Nice. Try to keep your seat nice and steady. So as you are moving your torso, you are actually freeing up that space at the base of your spine where the length of your spine meets with your pelvis. Good. So we actually want to kind of get down into the real root of the spine and let it get more spacious. Move yourself the other direction, please. Good. Nice, you guys. And then bring yourself back to stillness. Stretch your arms out wide, letter T. And then take your right arm over top of your left in front of your chest. Wrap the arms for eagle. Yeah, right arm over top of left. Wrap the forearms against each other. So bend the elbows, wrap the forearms. Good. And so you're pressing the forearms against each other. So focus on that. And then try and draw your armpits back. So you're actually drawing your shoulder blades more onto your back. And you're lifting up through the back of your throat. So imagine you have something on the top of your head that you're pushing up into. Good. And then make little circles with your elbows. That's it. But keep that length on your neck. So don't let the circling of the arms turn into I'm hunching into my back or I'm dropping my chin. Keep the length on the upper neck or the upper throat. Good. And then move your elbows the other way, please. Nice. Notice how aggressively you go into those movements. Your shoulders are tight and you feel like you're taking a hammer to them to try to get them to become more flexible. That's not going to work. You'll have shoulders that tighten up more because now they don't trust you. Good. Come back to stillness. Lift the elbows. Deep breath in. Nice. And then release the arms out and wide. Please stretch the arms straight out. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Good. As your palms turn up, bring the hands forward slightly. So you're hollowing the front of your arm bones. You're hollowing the front of the armpits. And then tilt the collarbones up like you're doing a little back bend. Good. Still with a long throat, but bring those hands slightly forward and stretch out through your fingertips. Nice. Good. And then drop the hands down to the floor behind your hips, fingertips to the floor. Good. Nice and wide hands. So don't bring them too close. Nice and wide. And then lean back into the hands and same thing. Rotate the chest up so that the back of the shoulder blades are pushing from behind you to lift the heart and spread the chest open. Keep your hips rooted to the floor as you do that. So it's tempting to go into a back bend where you push up through your hips or your butt, but keep your butt on the floor. Good. Kiss your dogs if they're there. And then slowly come all the way back up. Stretch the arms out wide, letter T. Good. Other arm on top. So right arm on top of left. Is that correct? Nope. Left arm on top of right. Wrapping the arms, the forearms. So you're pressing the forearms together. My suggestion is don't do that grippy finger thing where you hold your hands really hard if you don't have to. Is just try to keep the pressure with just the forearms. And then draw the armpits back in space. So again, you're lifting through the upper chest. You're lengthening through the back of your throat. Tops of the shoulders are soft away from the ears. They don't have to be working hard here. And then start to move the elbows in little circles. And tops of the shoulders here still don't have to be working hard. So careful that you don't hunch into that place. Good. This is the Buddhists say, this is what we do with our thoughts and our emotions all the time, is that we take them and we use them as protection, that whatever feels like it's too far outside of what we know or what's comfortable, as we start justifying the way that we think and feel to stay safe. And we think that whatever happens inside of us with that goal in mind, that it's okay. Move your elbows the other side, the other way. So watching the ways that you move in your body and in your mind, and watching how much maneuvering there is to try to protect what you feel is your comfort level. Is that, do you move your body freely, or are you always trying to protect yourself from sensation that's too much? Come back to stillness, lift the elbows a little higher, but don't drop the chin, keep the throat lifted. Good. And then release the arms, take the arms out and wide. Same thing, turn the palms up towards the ceiling. Good. Bring those hands forward just a little bit so you're hollowing the armpits, and then reaching out through the fingertips and pulling up through the crown of your head. Lift the heart a little higher like you're doing a back bend. Good. Nice, you guys. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Behind you, nice and wide on your fingertips. Lean back into the hands. Lift the chest nice and high. So again, you're dragging those shoulder blades towards each other on the back, and you're using that energy to lift up and wide through the chest. So it's not pushing my ribs forward so much as it's pulling my collarbones up and spreading wide and long throat. Good. And then slowly release, come all the way back up. Nice, you guys. Roll forward to hands and knees. And come into downward facing dog. Good. Pedal your feet just a little bit, moving the legs. You got it. And then go ahead and bend both knees, please, in your down dog. Bend your knees a lot. Push your hips back. Again, almost like you're trying to do child's pose, just hovering your knees above the floor. Good, and long throat. Nice, hips back more, Perry. Push back, push back. That's it, there you go, longer spine. One more breath. Good, and then come high on the tippy toes of your feet. Push your hips to the sky, let the legs come to straight. Nice, and then softly release the heels down towards the floor and push out through your fingers. So reach out through the extremities. Good, and at the same time, pull up through your low belly. So you're holding that center place and then extending through the legs and through the arms. Nice, and then walk your feet forward to your hands. Good, pause for a moment with your feet underneath your hips. Bend your knees so that you can drop your belly more onto your thighs. Keep your fingertips on the floor, please, but bend your knees a lot, almost like you're in chair pose, but your hands are on the floor. Good, and as you're bending your knees, let your hips move back in space so your knees are still staying pretty much over top of your ankles, fingertips on the floor. Scoop that low belly. Good, round. So then as you round your back, drop your hips lower. Yeah, and round your back more as you drop your hips lower. Good, and then just straighten the legs just a little bit more, pushing the hips up towards the sky. Good, pause before they get completely straight. And then same thing, fingers still on the floor or blocks, bend your knees more around your back. Good, so you're pulling the belly up off of your thighs as you drop the hips. And then straighten the legs almost as straight, so push up from the pelvis, push up, no locking your knees. Good, and then one more time, bend your knees, drop your hips, scoop your belly. Beautiful. And then start to straighten the legs again, pushing the hips up towards the sky, pushing down into your heels. Nice. Roll up the spine one vertebra at a time. So letting the arms hang if you can, letting the head hang. So it's the last thing that comes up. Good. Nice. And then inhale the arms up to the sky, reach. Good. Exhale, bow forward, fingertips come to the floor. Or blocks. Inhale, lengthen, come up halfway. So again, that feeling of I'm pushing my hips up to lengthen my spine and my legs. Exhale, bow deeply. Good, step the right leg back behind you. Drop the knee to the floor, Anjaneyasana, use a blanket if you'd like. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good, deep breath in, let your pelvis move forward, heart goes high, and then release the hands down to the floor. Good, lift the back knee, step back, plank pose, upward push up. Good, lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need. Yep, rise up, cobra, lift head, neck, and chest. Breathe deep into the chest, into the throat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, right foot steps forward between the hands, that's your inhale. Left foot steps forward alongside it, that's your exhale, forward fold, both feet forward. Good, and then inhale the arms around and up, so fanning the aura, reaching through that whole space that is around you. And then exhale, hands come together at the heart. Good, inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Yeah, exhale, bow forward. Good, inhale, lengthen, stretch out, lift the hips. Exhale, bow deeply. Good, left leg steps back behind you, drop the knee to the floor. Inhale the arms up, Anjaneyasana. Good, big breath, lift from your armpits, lift from your ribs. And then release the hands, please. Lift the back knee, step back, plank. Good, that's your inhale into plank. Lower down slow, exhale. Good, inhale up into cobra, rise. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, left foot steps forward between the hands. Right foot comes forward to meet it. Exhale as you forward fold, both feet at the top of your mat. Good. Inhale, the arms around and up. Exhale, hands together at the heart center. Nice. Inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, bow forward. Your sun salutes if you don't know them. Inhale, lengthen, reach out. Exhale, bow deeply. Right leg steps back behind you. Drop the knee, arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Good. Release the hands down to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Inhale the breath. Lower down, exhale to your belly. Rise up, cobra, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Get into the rhythm of your breath best you can. Right foot steps forward between the hands. Left foot steps forward to meet it. Exhale as you forward fold. Inhale, the arms around and up. Fan the aura. Exhale, hands together at the heart center. Good. Inhale, the arms around and up. Exhale, bow forward. Good. Inhale, lengthen, stretch out. Exhale, bow deeply again. Pull up through your hips. Left leg back behind you. Drop the knee, arms to the sky. Anjaneyasana. Good. Prayer for devotion or pose of devotion. Release the hands. Step back, plank pose. Good. Lower down slow. Find the exhale there. And then inhale, rise up to cobra. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Left foot steps forward. Right foot comes forward to meet it. Standing forward fold. Exhale all of your breath out. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Fan the aura. Exhale, hands together at the heart center. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Good. Inhale, lengthen, reach. Exhale, bow deeply again. Step the right leg back, knee to the floor, arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Good. Release the hands, step back, plank. That's your inhale. Lower down, exhale, find your belly. Good. Inhale, rise up, cobra. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Right foot steps forward between the hands. Left foot forward to meet it. Bow deeply. Good. Inhale, the arms around and up. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Good. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Left leg back behind you, knee to the floor, arms to the sky. Heart wide open. What does it mean to be devoted? What does it mean to give something back to something greater than yourself? Release the hands, step back, plank pose. Deep breath in, lower down slow. Find your way to your belly. Exhale, inhale up into cobra, head, neck, and chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Left foot steps forward. Right foot comes forward to meet it. Standing forward fold. Bow deeply. Good. Inhale the arms around and up. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Good. Pause. Feel your breath. Good. The idea that what is inside of you is generating the energy that is outside of you. When we look from the outside in, we only see the surface level of the results of what happens much deeper in. We don't see the deepness. We don't see where things begin. We only see where they're ending. Practice of yoga is, can you go to the core, the center, where everything begins and everything ends? Good. No judgment, no enemy. Release the hands, please. Take the eyes open. Hug your right knee up in towards your chest. Good. Squeeze it in. Take that knee wide so the bottom of the foot can come to the inside of the left leg for tree pose. Good. Pressing the foot into the leg into the foot, so you have this feeling of equality that you are drawing into that center line from both sides, right and left. And then take your arms up alongside your ears. Good. Yesterday was my daughter's 2nd birthday, so I'm teaching a lot of her favorite poses this weekend. She likes singing about trees. So you're drawing into that center line, arms up. I want you to sway from side to side. I want you to put yourself off balance. Good. Even if it means you fall, I want you to put yourself off balance. Nice, Katrin. Really good. Good, Pam. I like that you're falling out of the pose. Really good, Perry. Good, Mark. Awesome, Lana. Good. Come back to stillness. That's the tricky part, right? You let yourself go all over, and then can you come back to stillness and still be in the pose? Yes, of course you can. Spin that right knee forward, hug it up in towards your chest. Good. And then send it straight back behind you to warrior 3. So that right leg comes back as your chest comes forward, torso parallels the floor. Reach the arms straight out overhead. Good. And then bend your standing knee for a second. So go ahead and bend that leg that you're standing on. Good. Scoop your belly, push your butt higher towards the sky, and then reach out. Straighten the leg again. Push out through the arms and through the legs. Awesome. And then step back, high lunge. Please inhale both arms to the sky. Good. Reach your hands back behind you. Interlace the fingers at the low spine. Beautiful. Long chest, long throat, and then bow inside the front thigh. Take your arms up and over any amount. So I've been choosing sun salutes this weekend because the sun is a reminder that there is a light that shines on everything equally. That there is nothing in creation that the sun doesn't touch. It makes no judgment. Good. Release the hands down to the floor, please. Both hands inside the front foot. Good. Start to circle your hips, so make big hip circles. Nice. Good, you guys. And then slowly come on back to stillness. Beautiful. Walk yourself towards that upper right-hand corner of your mat. Please drop down to your elbows if you can. If not, you can drop onto blocks. Good. And from your forearm, from your right forearm, I want you to take your left arm to the sky, spinal twist, but I want that right elbow on the floor. So I want you lower than you would normally come if you were on your hand. Good. If you need to drop that back knee, you absolutely can. Nice. Long throat. Good. And then release that hand down to the floor, please. Nice job. Come back up onto your hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Bend your knees a little bit, please. So release the hips. As you bend your knees, again, dropping your butt more towards your heels. So bending your knees doesn't mean put more weight into your hands. It means bend your knees and draw back through your spine. Good. And then start to take the legs back towards straight. Lift the hips, soften the heels, push out through the legs, push out through the hands. And then look forward between the hands, step or jump your feet to the top of your mat. Yeah, super extra bonus points if you jump. Good job. Nice, you guys. Roll up the spine one vertebra at a time. Again, letting the head hang so that you're actually letting go of that feeling that my head has to lead me or that I have to protect myself by being tense in my shoulders. Good. And then left knee comes up and towards your chest. Squeeze it in. Good. And then bring that knee wide, bottom of the foot to the inside of the right leg. Nice. And again, you're finding that feeling of equality, what it means to find your middle line, what it means to find the middle way. Good. Arms to the sky when you've got it. Good. So that constant pushing and pulling and how wobbly it is, that is the middle way, is how do you live in the world and do what you need to do without creating enemies, without deciding that something is good or something is bad inherently. Good. Lift the back of your throat a little bit more. Let yourself sway from side to side. So if you are desperately staring at one place, hoping that that's going to keep you in your pose, hate to disappoint you. Good. Really good. And then start to bring yourself back towards stillness, still in the pose. So find where you can come back to that center place. Yes, really good. Jen falling out. Awesome. Nice, you guys. Spin that left knee forward. Please hug it up. And then send it straight back behind you into warrior three. Take your torso forward, arms alongside your ears. Good, and I know that's a difficult transition. Getting into a mode where that's what I want to focus on maybe next, is on how we transition from one pose to the next. Good. Deep breath, extend out through the legs. So maybe bend your standing knee. Do bend your standing knee, not maybe, definitely do it. And then push your butt up towards the sky. So you're actually letting your hips rotate forward a little bit more, your pelvis rotate forward. And then extend out through the legs, extend out through the arms. Awesome. Step all the way back. Really good, Valerie. High lunge, arms to the sky. Good. And then take the hands back behind you, interlace your fingers. Yeah. Strong back thigh. So take that back thigh a little higher, everybody. Nice, Stacy. Nice, Alana. And then bow inside your front thigh, taking the arms up and over, but don't let that back leg collapse on you. Good. Squeeze your right butt cheek back and in again towards that middle line. So it's going to take your shoulders a little bit more straight ahead. Good. One more breath. Reach long through the arms, long throat. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good job. Both hands come inside the front foot. Good. Take some hip circles, please. Move the pelvis. Good. And then come back to stillness, please. Walk your hands to the upper left-hand corner of your mat. Come on down to your elbows or use blocks there if you need. So I want your shoulders to come a little lower, because as your shoulders come lower, you're going to get a different feeling on the hips and the lower back. So I want that, that deepness of your upper body. If you need to drop the back knee here, you can. Good. And then I want you to stay on that left forearm. If possible, take the right arm up to the sky, spinal twist. Good. The whole point is I just want you a little bit lower with the upper body than you would normally be, and I want you to be able to extend your spine. Good. So open the ribs. Don't let that front knee fall open. Awesome. And then release that hand down to the floor. Good. Welcome back, Lydia. Lift that back knee, please, if it's down, downward facing dog. Good, you guys. Again, bend the knees, drop your hips towards your heels. Good. Yeah, push back, push back, push back. You got it. And then scoop the belly, push your hips up towards the sky, come up on your tippy toes in your down dog. Good. And then softly release the heels down towards the floor, push out through your fingertips. Nice. And then right leg comes up and back, down dog split. Good. Step that foot forward between the hands, lunge. Drop the back heel, baby toe parallels the back of your mat. Arms come up to warrior two, so cartwheel the arms up. Good. Watch that front knee is pointing towards the second toe, so you still have this feeling of drawing that right sit bone, that's your front hip, back and in towards the midline. Good. And then turn your palms up to face the ceiling. Nice. And then same thing that you did seated at the beginning of class. I want you to bring those hands forward just a little bit to hollow the front of your shoulder joints, hollow the front of the armpits, and then extend out through your arms, extend out through your fingertips. So pull long. Good. But hug those lower armpits in, and those shoulders, the top of the shoulders, stay soft. Good. And then drop the left hand back behind you to that back thigh. Keep the palm facing up, please. Yep, so that left hand, drop the back of the hand to the back thigh, palm facing up, reverse warrior, take the right arm to the sky. Good, because I want you to keep that openness of your shoulder. So having the palm up reminds you of that. Good, let your right knee go a little deeper into your lunge because you're leaning back. That's it, really good. Nice, Heidi. And then bring yourself all the way back up to center, please. Beautiful. Take your hands back behind you, interlace your fingers at your low spine. Turn your ribs forward towards your front knee, but keep your back heel on the floor. And then bow inside the front thigh. Take the arms up and over. That back leg is still in warrior two. Good. And you see if you can let that left rib cage and shoulder turn forward and down a little bit more. So you're really getting almost into that twisting sensation from your back leg up into your trunk. Yeah. Good, you guys. Release the hands down to the floor. Awesome. Spin your back heel up, please. Step that left foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight, Parsvottanasana. Good. Yeah, make sure your feet are not right behind each other. Good. So Marlene, move your feet a little wider, right and left. Yeah. You are the 100th monkey. Whether you know it or not, what you are experiencing in you is spreading into that field that is all around you that we call the aura, and that aura is intermixing with the consciousness of everyone, everything else. And if that sounds like it's a ridiculous amount of responsibility, it isn't. You're not responsible for everything, but you are the only one who is capable of working with the energy that is yours, that moves through you. So that's not responsibility with a judgment that you have to do it right or you have to do it wrong, but it is a realization that no one else can do it for you. So can you go there in yourself where you look for the root of your own joys and your own sorrows so that you know what it is that you are bringing into that shared consciousness. You know what it is that you are bringing into the world. You create more peace in you where there's no enemy inside of you or outside of you, and the world changes. Maybe not as fast or in the way that you want it to in your mind, but it changes. So just do the work that's yours and don't obsess about the work that's somebody else's. Good. Bend that right knee, please. Step yourself forward, top of your mat. Good. Bend your knees, drop your belly onto your thighs, and then wrap the arms around the backs of the legs. Drop your chin towards your chest, so relax the head again. And you're squeezing the arms around your legs, so you're hugging. And then I want you to watch that if you're hugging so hard that your shoulders have hunched up towards your ears, keep hugging, but relax that space of the upper shoulders that don't have to be in a death grip. Drop the head. Scoop your belly up off of your thighs now, but keep that hug. Drop your hips a little lower as you keep that hug. Good. Pull the belly up, but drop the hips. That's it. And then keep the hug on the legs, keep the belly scooped, start to push your hips up towards the sky and push your heels down into the floor. Relax your head. It has nothing to do with this. Good. Keep pushing up through the hips, keep pushing down through your heels, stay hugged in. It doesn't matter how much the knees come towards straight. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Nice job. Let the legs come to straight if they didn't before. Good. And then plant your hands, step or jump back into plank pose. Super bonus points if you jump. Nice job. Really good, Mia. Good. Lower down slow to your belly, please. Good. Rise up, cobra. Lift head, neck, and chest. Good. And then in your cobra, I want you to focus on your feet. So push down into the front of your shins, push down into your feet, and then go ahead and lift your hands up off the floor. And if your cobra is so high that you can't do that, adjust your cobra and lift your hands up off the floor. Good. And can you find that same feeling of elongating the spine and lifting wide through your chest, through your back, even though you're not pushing into your hands? Good. Downward facing dog. Use your hands. That's a tough one to do without hands. Really good, you guys. Left leg up and back, down dog split. Good. Step that foot forward between the hands, please. Drop the back heel, warrior two. So the back toes parallel the back of your mat. Arms come up straight out from the shoulders. Good. Watch that front knee that it's pointing towards the second toe. It's going to have a tendency to fall in, especially if the hips are tight. So move it a little bit wide. So Katrin, move it a little bit wide. Good. Valerie, move it a little bit wide. Good, you guys. And then turn your palms up to face the ceiling. Again, bringing your hands slightly forward in space, so towards the front of your chest. Good. And then feel that drawing together of the armpit area. So you're still squeezing the shoulder blades towards the center of the back. But then I want you to extend out through your fingers, extend out through your arms. So you're pulling in, and then you're also extending out as far as you can. Good. And the tops of the shoulders are soft. Nice job. And then drop that right hand, back of the hand to your back thigh. Keep the palm facing up. Take the left arm up to reverse warrior. Lean back. Good. And as you lean back, let your left thigh go a little deeper into the lunge. Yeah, you can go deeper, Christian. Go for it. That's it. Really good. Nice. You guys lift that left hip point a little higher. Gen C. Good. And then bring yourself all the way back up to warrior two, please. Take your hands back behind you, interlace your fingers at the low spine, turn the ribs forward, and then bow inside the front thigh, but keep that back heel on the floor. So you have that open rotation on the hip. Watch that you don't push your butt out to the left. Good, so squeeze that left butt cheek back and in towards the midline. Pull back on that back thigh. And then scoop your belly and maybe let your front knee go forward again. So you're pulling back on the back thigh, but as you scoop your belly, you go deeper into the lunge. Good. And right shoulder comes forward and down. That's it. Good, Lindsay. Good, Carolina. Release the hands down to the floor. Really good. You guys spin your back heel up and then step that right foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight. Parsvottanasana. Nice. So by the time you notice an emotion working in a way that you are familiar with, it means it's been working for the last 24 hours, 24 years, 24 lifetimes. By the time we notice what's going on in us, by the time we think that it has surfaced to where we are consciously paying attention, it means that it has been working unconsciously for a long time. So we react to the things that we see consciously or that are in front of us. And we think that if we could just resolve those, that everything would be fine. And then we get caught in that trap that we keep just recreating the same thing over and over. So we don't go down to the root. The place where joy and sorrow are coming from the same location, same source. Where the emotion is wrapped up in your everyday experience, not just the moment where it seems to spike or the moment where it seems to be in front of you causing trouble. So can you get to know your favorite problematic emotion? Make friends with it. Let it hold hands with you throughout your day and recognize where it is woven into everything. And then recognize also how it can be woven in sorrow and joy, fear and hope or courage. When we can live with that, where we know that they are interwoven together, then we come to a more peaceful place. There is no enemy. Nothing to be destroyed. Good. Bend that front knee, step your right foot forward, top of your mat. Beautiful. And then bend the knees again, drop your belly onto your thighs, wrap the arms around the backs of the legs, drop the chin towards your chest, squeeze in. Good. Drop your hips a little lower, please, and then scoop your belly, pull up. So round your back a lot, pull up. Yeah. And then keep that hug, press into your feet, take your hips up towards the sky, straighten the legs any amount. Good. Really good. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Good. Or to blocks. Still standing, feet underneath the hips. Take the right leg up and back behind you to standing split. Yep. Good. Turn those right toes more down towards the floor so that outer right hip is going to go wider. And then bend your left knee. So bend your left knee, your standing knee, and really turn those right toes down because now you have the chance to do it. Turn your right shoulder down towards the floor because you have the chance to do it. Good. Scoop into your low belly, kick that right thigh higher, kick that right foot higher. Good. And then don't let it drop, but start to straighten your left leg and drop your forehead towards that standing leg. Yeah. Good, you guys. Beautiful. And then step back, nice long lunge, please. Drop the back knee, inhale the arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. In the pose of devotion. It's how do I have a heart that is open so wide that there is nothing that can not fit. Put it that way. Nothing that can't be held. Hands together at the heart center, please. Prayer twist. Right elbow comes to the outside of that left knee. Good. Push the knee wide into your hands. So you're not letting the knee fall into the center. You're not pushing yourself off center. Good. And then turn the heart, turn the heart, turn the heart. Can you connect again to that feeling of heat or the feeling of energy that runs from the hands, through the arms, through the heart, through the whole self? Good. And then come back to center. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Yeah. transitions, right? And then release the hands down to the floor. Beautiful. So scoot your right hip back in space, so it's right on top of your right knee. Take your left leg forward to straight, Ardha Hanumanasana. Yeah, so front leg comes to straight, right hip stacks on top of right knee. There you go. And then walk your hands forward, please, towards the ankle. Half Hanuman. Because it should have been a clue the minute I mentioned monkeys that we would have to do Hanuman. It's a requirement. If you talk about monkeys, you have to do this. You know, I think Crystal's asking why. Why is that true? Good. Nice, you guys. So take one more breath where you're at. Then walk your hands back just a little bit so they're more underneath your shoulders. Slide that left leg forward just a little bit more. Good. And then tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up. I want you to come into full Hanuman, but you're not trying to drop yourself to the floor. I want you to hover. Yeah. So I want you to find where you are extending long through the inner thighs, but where you're also squeezing your legs in, like you're going to try and push your butt up towards the sky. Good. And you're also extending out. And then I want you to relax the shoulders away from the ears because this pose has nothing to do with them. Good. Yeah, squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in, and extend long. Beautiful. Really nice, Heidi. Good. How long can you hold this pose with the thought that there is no enemy? Your hamstrings are not your enemy. Your groins are not your enemy. This pose is not your enemy. I'm not your enemy. Slowly come on out, please. Pull that front knee back in. Drop that back knee to the floor. Good. Come back downward facing dog. Yeah, wiggle your hips from side to side. Good. And then looking forward between the hands, please step or jump your feet to the top of your mat. Whoa. Good. Feet underneath the hips. Take your left leg up and back behind you. Down dog, not down dog split, sorry, standing split. I think my split's confused. Good. Nice. Bend the right knee, please. So you're bending your standing leg so that you can really turn your left toes down towards the floor, and you can turn that left hip wide and down towards the floor. And again, it's going to feel like it's less stable for pretty much everyone. It's going to feel like it's more work. And so the natural tendency is going to be, let me go back to the way that I like it. Let me justify every reason to go back to the way that I like it. Practice not doing that. And then scoop your belly, push your hips up towards the sky, kick that left thigh higher, but keep your toes pointing down. Don't rotate open to make it easier. Good. Right? Devotion is I give my comfort, I give something away in order for that bigness to exist through me. Good. And then step it all the way back, nice long lunge. Good. Drop the back knee, inhale the arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Again, huge open heart. This doesn't mean a bleeding heart. It doesn't mean I look for things that are painful to justify having a big heart. It means that my heart creates no enemies. I put nothing in front of me and whatever is outside of me to try to protect myself. I have awareness. I don't run towards trouble. Hands to heart center, please. Prayer twist. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Go ahead, squeeze that right butt cheek back and in. Even here, the tendency is for the hips to push out. So squeeze it in, push your left hip wide, and then rotate the heart. Good, Debbie. Nice, Tara. One more breath. What does your heart wish for? Come back to center, please. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor. Nice. Move your hips back so that your left hip is on top of your left knee. Wiggle that right leg forward to straight. Come up on the heel. Ardha Hanumanasana. Walking the hands forward, forward fold. Good adjustment there, Jeff. Good. Now, are you passively just hanging over that front leg, hoping that something good is going to happen? Or are you digging that heel down? Are you dragging the top of your right thigh up and back? So it's like you're pulling your thigh bone up into your hip socket. Good. And then maybe pushing out through the ball of the foot so that you don't have just this feeling of yanking the back of your leg as straight as it can go, but you have this feeling that you're actually pushing through the foot and you're actually pulling up through the top of the thigh. You're lengthening in both directions. It's nice. Can you balance your shoulders here? So the left shoulder turns forward a little bit more, the right side comes a little higher and wider. Good job again, Jeff. Yeah. Nice, you guys. Then walk your hands back just a little bit so that they're more underneath your shoulders. Good. Take that right heel forward, maybe just a little bit more. Wiggle that left leg back, come up on the ball of the left foot, lift your back knee. So you're in split, you're in a full split, but you're hanging, you're hovering. Good. And even if you can pretty much come down to the floor in this position, I still want you to have this feeling that you're squeezing in and you're not trying to rest on the floor, but you're trying to stay super engaged through your legs. You're squeezing in. Left hip and right hip points are in the same line with each other. That's your cue. That's your trick to figure out what you're doing or how much you are trying to compensate for comfort. Good, you guys. And then can you relax your shoulders here? Thank you, everyone on the screen. Can you relax your mind here? You take every bit of frustration or irritation or discomfort that's here and follow it back to its source. It's not about this pose. Good. And then slowly release, come on back. Nice. Take a downward facing dog just so that your hips can come to a level position. Good. Pedal the feet, wiggle the hips. Good. And then drop the knees to the floor, please. Child's pose. I think we forget also when there is so much that's happening. So much that's happening, and there's always so much that's happening. We get caught in the bigness of it. And then we get obsessed with what can I do, what can I not do? It's too much. So we turn away. The cosmic vision in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna shows himself in his God form, his infinite form to Arjuna, and Arjuna says it's too much. It's too much brightness, it's too much horror, it's too much everything. Turn it off, please. You're not responsible for everything, for the bigness. But you are the only one who is able to get to the roots of your own joys and your own sorrows. You're the only one that can understand peace through you. So just do it. Do it for you and do it for me. Because you're the 100th monkey, I guarantee it. I'm the 100th monkey, I guarantee it. Walk yourself back up, please. Come to sit on your butt. Bottoms of the feet come together, please. Baddha Konasana. Your knees go wide. You can sit up on a blanket here if you'd like. Good. And then I want you to take your heels. So you come into your Baddha Konasana the way that you like it. And then I want you to take your heels a little bit further forward so that you're actually lengthening that space. You're actually making more space between your heels and your groin. Good. So a little bit longer diamond. And then I want you to start to walk yourself forward, come into your forward fold. And if it's available, take the right arm underneath your right knee, your left arm underneath your left knee. So your forearms are actually coming underneath the legs, through the legs. Good. And then you're letting yourself rest there. So the palms can be facing up as those arms come underneath. The palms can be facing down, whichever feels better to you. It can be out to the side, but I want you to let there be that sensation of finding the floor and also letting the upper body do what it's doing. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Good. The forehead can relax onto the feet. That's fantastic. If you want to put a block there and let your forehead rest on the block, you can do that. If you're stuck where you are now and can't change anything, just hang out. Good. Yoga is working backwards from what you see as real to getting to the roots of where it all began. So can you get to know those things that are your greatest challenges from their beginning, not just their endings, not just the place where they became a problem to you, where they became an enemy. And you look for the places where those same enemies are also friends. Or even better, where there's a space where you don't have to choose one or the other. In every emotion, can you turn it in the direction of peace? Good. Slowly unwind yourself. Come all the way out. Nice. So if that right heel or that right leg can stay bent, go ahead and keep it bent. Bring your left knee up towards your chest. Yep. So you're lifting that leg and you're gonna, as you hug it in towards your chest, you're gonna reach your right hand to the baby toe side of your left leg. So you're crossing the body. You're gonna extend that left leg straight forward in front of you. So you're doing a little seated twist, balancing. So if that right leg has to come straight as well to stabilize your pelvis, no problem. So right hand holds left leg, turn your belly to the left and take your left arm up and back behind you if you can. Good. Don't let that leg cross towards the midline. So keep it pushing wide to the left. So you can turn your shoulders more. Yeah, so move that heel a little wider to your left, Crystal. Good. You got it. And then push your foot into your hand, lean forward towards the front edge of your pelvis. There you go. Good job. Good. And then bring yourself forward again, please. Reach both hands for that foot or the ankle. So the leg is still straight out in front of you. Hold with both hands. Again, you might have to hold a little lower on the leg. Yep. And then lift your chest nice and high. Send your groins back and down. Deep breath in, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And maybe on your exhale, you bend the elbows and bring yourself a little deeper in, forehead towards your shin. Good. And then slowly release. Come on out. Hug that knee in. Beautiful. And then place it back down to Baddha Konasana. Good. So second side, so right knee comes up in towards your chest. And again, if the left leg needs to extend straight out in front of you for balance, you can let it. Yep. And then you're reaching across your body. So left hand reaches for baby toe of your right foot. Extend the right leg straight out in front of you. Good. And then turn your belly to the right. So you're coming into the twist, turning towards that straight leg. Right arm comes up and back behind you. Good. And remember, you are leaning forward towards the front edge of your pelvis. Push out through that extended leg. Push out through that right foot. Good. Don't let it cross the midline though. Keep it in line with your hip. Nice. Still lean forward towards the front edge of your pelvis. That's it. Thank you. Good. Groins back, throat back. Nice, you guys. And then bring it back towards center, please. Holding the leg with both hands, so don't put the leg down yet. Straight out in front of you. Good. Lift nice and long through your spine. That's it. And then maybe on your exhale, you bow a little bit deeper. Continue to push your groin, push your sit bones down and wide into the floor so that you're not getting into that curling into your spine to try to get your head to your leg. That's not important. Good. And then slowly come on out, hug that knee in towards your chest. Good. And then release it back to Baddha Konasana. Feet together, knees wide. One more forward fold. Go ahead, walk yourself straight ahead. Nice. And then bring yourself back up, please. Good. Find your way onto your backs, onto your mats. Out of habit, I almost said turn yourselves around as you come onto your backs. But it's an interesting thing, right? One of the reasons that we do that, or we're doing that habitually in the studio, as you come onto your back, is so that when you are energetically facing the other person, is it's crown to crown, right? Not pointing your feet at another person. So can you imagine that you are always orienting yourself in the way where you are directing the greatest, most auspicious parts of yourself into the world, crown to crown, where everything is fully understood, fully realized. Good. Bend the knees, please. Yeah. Right ankle comes on top of left thigh. Lift the left shin parallel to the floor. Reach through to hold the leg. And then use the hands to draw the thigh in towards your belly. Draw the legs in. Flex the feet. Good. As you draw the legs in, continue to push long through your lower spine. So you're still pushing out through your tail, trying to keep your tail rooted down to the floor, but dragging the legs in. Good. Nice, you guys. And then release the leg, please. Slide that right thigh all the way on top of your left. Separate the feet, reach for your ankles or your shins. Good. Still drawing the knees in towards the chest. Keep your low back to the floor. Relax your shoulders. So if your shoulders are curling up off of the floor, change your pose so they don't have to. Nice. Good. Now release the feet. Press your shins against each other so your legs are in what they would be for eagle, so eagle legs. Good. Knees in towards your chest. Good. And then you're going to extend your legs, keep them wrapped, but I want you to bring your knees further away from you. Let your toes touch down to the floor. Arms can go wide here or into cactus arms. Good. So it's just your legs. Keep the knees bent, but dip your toes down towards the floor so they come out in front of you. Just touch. Don't lean them there. And then bring the knees back up towards your chest. This is for your lower belly. Good. And then bring the legs out in front of you. Touch the toes down to the floor. No weight there, just touching. Good. And then bring the knees back up in towards your chest. You should feel your abdominals having to do some work. Good. And then bring the legs out and forward. Toes touch down to the floor. Good. Bring the knees back in. 2 more. Reach out and down. Pull back in. And 1 more, keeping the upper body relaxed. This has nothing to do with your shoulders. Good. And then pause and just squeeze the legs. And then unwind the legs, draw the knees towards your armpits like you're doing a little child's pose on your back. So the knees pull in towards the armpits, hug your shins. Good. Nice. And then place the feet back to the floor for a moment. Can you notice your pelvis? And then move to the next position. So left ankle over top of right thigh. Lift your right shin parallel to the floor. Reach through to find the thigh and draw the legs in towards the chest. So drag in. And as you're dragging the legs in, push out through your tail. Hug your children. Good. Nice, you guys. Take 1 more breath, dragging the legs in. And then release your hold on that thigh. Slide the left leg all the way on top of the right. Separate the feet. Reach for your ankles or your shins. Keep the feet flexed. And knees are in towards your chest, but low back is anchored down to the floor. Good. Nice, you guys. And then release your hold on the feet, please. Squeeze the shins towards each other so the legs are still wrapped. Good. And then arms can come alongside you again, either out wide or cactus arms. Knees pull in towards your chest. So this is just getting clear on those muscles of the lower belly. Good. And then bring the legs forward, dip the toes down towards the floor. So again, you're not dropping the feet to the floor, just a touch. And then bring the knees back up in towards your chest. Try to keep your ribs nice and soft, your shoulders relaxed. Good. Take the legs forward again, toes dip down towards the floor. Use your breath, please. And then bring the knees back up in towards your chest. Watch how aggressively you do this. Good. And then bring the legs out and forward. And bring the knees back up in towards your chest. Good. 2 more. Bring them forward. And you can do this if having the cross of the legs is really difficult in this position. I know it is. You could do this with the knees just together, legs unwrapped. Good. When you've done 5, and you should all pretty much be there, as the knees come in, pause. Good. And then unwind the legs, please. Bring your knees up towards your armpits again. Reach for your ankles or your feet. Happy baby. Good. Pressing down through the lowest space of your sacrum. Heels up. Good. An interesting hold, if you can reach for your feet, I usually don't say this, but reach for your feet just for a second, even if it means that your shoulders come up. And then holding your feet, push your feet up into your hands. Good, and then root your low back again. Cheryl used this cue yesterday while I was demonstrating, and I don't think that I've heard it said in a long time, and it felt so good, so I'm stealing it. So push up through your feet and find the length of your lower back. Yeah. Awesome. And then slowly release, please. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Drop your feet to the floor, hips width apart. Take your arms alongside you, 1 bridge pose. So arms can be in robot arms or straight, your choice. But press into your feet. Find that lift from the back of your heart, long throat, and then float your hips up off of the floor into bridge. Good. From the back of your heart, lift up. And have that be that is what lifts the weight of the pelvis, is that lift through the heart and that length through your spine. So like you're doing cobra pose. Nice. Long throat. Good. And then slowly release the hips back down to the floor. Nice. And then spinal twist of your choice. So you can bring the knees in, you can drop them to the right, stack together. You can straighten one leg and bring the other knee across the body. You can wrap the legs in eagle and come into a twist. Spinal twist of your choice. Good. And then come into your twist on the other side, whatever that choice happens to be. It doesn't have to be the same on both sides. Good. And then find your way back towards center, please. Hugging the knees in towards your chest. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees. Hollow, hollow, hollow. And then slowly unwind. Extend the legs out in front of you, the arms alongside you, palms up, feet drop open. And Shavasana is that chance to disconnect from everything that is outside, external. Say for a moment, if I didn't feel responsible for being that, what could I be? If I go beyond what the external end of myself is and I go back to my roots, what's there? Where joy and sorrow are woven together. Perfect. No separation. Go there. Very gently bring the awareness back to your breath. Letting the body begin to stretch, move, whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest. Roll to your right side. And take a moment before you begin to push the floor away. Come back to an upright seated position. Bring the hands back together in front of the heart center, palm to palm, or coming into lotus mudra if you choose. Really any mudra that you choose. And the closing that Cheryl would do at the end of every class in the studio, and I haven't heard it done online, maybe she's been doing it, I just haven't heard it, but can we remember, may all beings everywhere awaken to their innate great perfection. May all beings everywhere experience life's true joys. May all beings everywhere be free from suffering and the root causes of suffering. And together may we all abide in equanimity, free from attachments and aversions. And may I figure out in me what the heck that means in my life. That it's not just a beautiful prayer that's out there and I hope someone figures it out. Can I figure out what the heck does that mean in me? In my little slice of reality, my little slice of life, can I do that? Can I live so that there is no enemy in me, no enemy outside of me? And if I can do that, and I know I'm the damn 100th monkey, then the world we wake up to is a different one than yesterday. So just do that. Don't try to fix the big. Just get to the roots of you and live with no enemies. Close with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you guys so, so much. I'm gonna unmute you.
Thank you, Veronica. That was
You're welcome. I know you're all planning on staying for meditation, so go potty and go get a snack, and then I'll see you back here in a few minutes.
Thank you.
If for some reason